Chapter 56. The failed operation is perfect. I'm home. Hearing the sound at the gate, Shi Yuxuan smiled and said something to her handsome husband, without any gesture of asking him what he was doing. Cicada is new, do you want some? Without explaining what he did when he went out, Su Renshan showed the supper in his hand and said with a smile. Okay. The last time I tasted cicadas, Shi Yuxuan did not reject this kind of food. Where are you going to interview tomorrow? While eating cicadas and drinking some wine, Shi Yuxuan, who felt very comfortable, asked casually. Go to the Institute of Technology, go there around 8:30. Do you want me to see you off? No, I'm just going through the motions. If you pass by, you won't be able to get in. Other candidates may affect their performance if they see it. It's not very good. All right. Hearing the handsome husband's compliment in disguise, Shi Yuxuan's mood became even more beautiful. Early the next morning, Chen Zhengfei ate the most sumptuous buffet breakfast in 2 months. When he went to refund the license plate, he found that there was still 600 yuan to refund. There was an urge to die for his confidant. When he gets his salary next month, he must come here to chat with the girl who looks like his first love last night. Hi, good morning. At 7:30, when Chen Zhengfei saw his female colleague, he generously greeted her. Getting rid of the identity of a boy last night not only dispelled the haze of his going to the police station, but also filled him with energy, eager to complete the new task assigned by the boss immediately. Good morning, have you had breakfast? Looking at the company that was undergoing intensive renovation, Lu Nailan, who was very satisfied from the bottom of her heart, chatted casually, but didn't notice the abnormality of her colleagues. Although she knew that the company had not been established recently, but seeing this superior location and expensive company headquarters, she felt more at ease following that generous and handsome boss. I ate, what about you? I also ate. What new task do you think the boss will give us? Not sure. While the two were chatting, Su Renshan also came out of the elevator, took them to a brief look at the layout of the company, and then gave them a new task to find the first suitable tea shop in the urban area. Drink shop. Boss, we promise to complete the task as soon as possible. Before Lu Nailan could make a statement, Chen Zhengfei took the lead in saying something nice, which surprised the female colleague next to her. Work hard, I still have something to do, so let's go first. Looking at the spiritual head of the second elder, Su Renshan nodded in satisfaction, left the company, and rushed to Jiang Provincial Institute of Technology. According to the requirements of the interview notice, he must enter the venue and wait before 8:30, draw lots to determine the interview sequence, and officially start the interview at 9 o'clock. Arriving near the Institute of Technology, Su Renshan first parked his Bentley in a parking space on the side of the road, and then walked towards the school gate with a small file bag. According to the interview process, Su Renshan and a group of candidates waited for more than 10 minutes by the flower bed of the teaching building, and entered on time at 8:30. As if it was a copy of the previous life, Su Renshan got the third one. At 9:30, when it was Su Renshan's turn to walk in, he saw the second interview candidate sitting at the door and waiting for his score to come out. At the moment when they looked at each other, Su Renshan seemed to see fear, apprehension, and threats in the eyes of that ordinary male candidate. After all, they only accepted 2 candidates for this position. The examiners are also 3 familiar examiners, especially the middle-aged female examiner sitting on the right, with a particularly kind smile. After the female examiner said some precautions, Su Renshan saw 3 exam questions, exactly the same as the previous life, perfect. It took almost a minute for Su Renshan to think about how to get a low score in his mind. Answering this kind of question, Mang will be done. Of course, it seemed that he was getting extra points for quick thinking, so Su Renshan waited 3 minutes before starting to answer the questions. The answer to the question was almost the same as in his previous life. Different from the nervousness in the previous life, this time Su Renshan still had the time to observe the expressions of the 3 examiners. When he said categorically to Leng Taoking's answer, the eyes of the three examiners all changed. The ordinary male candidate sitting next to him showed a relieved smile. Candidate number 3 goes to the side to rest and wait. Candidate number 2, your interview score is 79.5. Candidate number 4 goes to the side to rest and wait. Candidate number 3, your interview score is 76.5. 10 minutes later, Su Renshan, who was waiting by the side, got his own score, which was indeed 3 points lower than the previous examinee, almost the same as the previous life. The interview score accounts for 60% of the total score. Basically, Su Renshan can bid farewell to the shortlist for this position. I am about to successfully refund the 29,000 yuan interview fee from Zhongtu. This wave of operations is simply excellent. How much is your interview score? 76.5. It can't be considered low, there are still opportunities, come on. Thanks. When going out with the young volunteer guide, the other party smiled and asked about his score. Su Renshan answered truthfully, and indeed heard the other party's regretful but encouraging words. It is estimated that with his high-quality image, he can only get this score, and others will be very surprised. But the ranks of civil servants are not judged by faces. Walking out of the gate of the Institute of Technology, Su Renshan came to his Bentley, looked back at the interview site, and felt a stone in his heart. Although the career path of a civil servant is relatively brilliant, he may be able to take charge of one party in the future and show great ambitions, but he prefers an unrestrained life. Next, his own life will start again. People say that happy events never come singly. Su Renshan was just about to go back to have lunch with his beautiful wife, when he received a call from the recruitment agency, and the milk tea blender was found. Okay, let's meet in the afternoon. Arranging a time and place to meet, Su Renshan sent Wei Wei to the beautiful wife, got the shopping location of the other party, and drove straight there. There is nothing more important than eating with a beautiful wife. Perhaps the beauty wife's social network is a little shallow. Su Renshan didn't see any girlfriends and friends of the other party, only the consistent black silk female lawyer. However, today is not working time, and the black silk female lawyer is not wearing formal work clothes, but a simple black long skirt with a little black silk. Does this match the black bar? Not to mention, this long skirt with a waist that is as wide as the palm of your hand has a special style. Unfortunately, standing with his beautiful wife in a blue floral dress, the score was at least 10 points lower. Ren-san, what do you want for lunch? Seeing her handsome husband, Shi Yuxuan asked with a smile. Eat a simple stir-fry. Knowing the personality of the beautiful wife, Su Renshan made a choice directly. Okay, it's nice to have a private kitchen next to it, I'll send a message to book a box. After hearing the handsome husband's choice, Shi Yuxuan immediately took out her mobile phone and sent a Weibo message to the store, and asked the other party to prepare a dish of fish head tofu soup that the handsome husband likes to eat. In a place where the beautiful wife couldn't notice, Su Renshan and the black silk female lawyer looked at each other, as if they saw a warning in the other's eyes. Oh, demo. Did you see any clothes you like today? Didn't see the shopping bag in the beautiful wife's hand, but the black silk female lawyer had a bag on her wrist. Su Renshan asked casually, and grabbed her hand. The female lawyer with black silk is still too young. If the warning eyes were useful, the earth would have been penetrated countless times by humans. No, why don't you take a look with me? Holding the warm palm of her handsome husband with her backhand, Shi Yuxuan asked inquiringly. She doesn't want to force the other party to go shopping with her. This is no different from those unreasonable little girls. The husband and wife should have their own space. Shopping with women is one of the last things men want to do, and these online forums have them. It's rare to go shopping with a beautiful wife, Su Renshan naturally wouldn't refuse. In the next journey, the probability of Shi Yuxuan choosing clothes immediately became more frequent. When she tried on the clothes and saw her handsome husband nodding in approval, she immediately swiped her card to buy it without any hesitation. "Sister, I'm hungry." Seeing her cousin being slapped to death by that handsome boy, and herself becoming a single dog eating dog food, it was the first time Shi Qingxue discovered that shopping can be boring. "Okay, let's go eat then." Shi Yuxuan, who was in good spirits, saw her cousin's appearance, and ended her shopping with a smile. Anyway, she will have a long time with her handsome husband in the future. After lunch and taking his beautiful wife home for an afternoon nap, Su Renshan drove to a Blue Mountain Cafe in Jiahu district, and met the person in charge of the agency and an amazing milk tea mix maker. Thanks to Lao Tai Aojue Wufankong, Shen Kongwen is a bandit, and near the water for the reward. End of this chapter. Chapter 57. No, must have paid time off. In Su Renshan's impression, he didn't have much idea of the image of a milk tea brewer. After all, he joined a milk tea brand in his previous life, and it soon ended up in bankruptcy. During this period, all the raw materials were used from the headquarters, and he had no contact with this kind of profession. However, the milk tea brewer should also be fat. Think about it with your knees, if you often touch those sweets, can you not get fat? However, what Su Renshan saw was a thinner girl, not pretty, but an ordinary girl with a score of 55. "Hello, Su Renshan." "Hello, Liang Wen." After a brief chat, Su Renshan learned that the other party had once worked as a new product blender in a certain brand of milk tea company, so he immediately decided to hire him. With such an excellent resume, he is simply his ideal candidate for a milk tea blender. Ms. Liang's previous monthly salary was 9,000. What are the requirements for the new job salary? After understanding the reason for the other party's resignation, Su Renshan asked about the other party's salary requirements. As an entrepreneurial boss who is eager for talents, it is normal for high-quality employees to make some appropriate demands. If Mr. Su can guarantee my weekends, as long as the daily salary is not lower than that of the previous company. As for the salary requirements, Liang Wen didn't have much pursuit, but because the previous company worked too much overtime, there was no time to rest and travel. That won't work. In this way, our company provides Ms. Liang with 1 month's paid vacation every year in addition to statutory holidays. In terms of salary, the tentative monthly salary is 15,000. In order to keep this talent, Su Renshan waved his hand and directly offered a condition that the other party could not refuse. Not only the monthly salary has also increased from the original 10,000 to 15,000, but also guarantees weekends and holidays every year, and gives the other party a 1-month paid vacation. The treatment is not unreasonable. Since you have taken a fancy to the other party's ability, you must treat each other with sincerity. "Boss, what time do we go to work?" Hearing such a majestic boss, Liang Wen immediately agreed and even changed the title. Nonsense, this is simply many times better than she expected, how could she refuse? Besides, the other party is so handsome, how could it be possible to deceive her? Anyway, after signing the labor contract, you can't rely on it if you want. Welcome any time. Seeing that the other party agreed, Su Renshan happily shook hands with the other party. Seeing that both parties are satisfied, the intermediary next to him left happily and waited for the employer to call in the balance. Currently the company is still being renovated. Liang Wen, your main job is to determine the purchase channels for ingredients other than tea. Our company focuses on new style tea, and basically all ingredients must be imported. After the agent left, Su Renshan talked about his plans for new tea drinks, as well as some product requirements, and by the way, listed some popular drinks in his memory. In short, on the basis of the initial 15 products, the brand, Ziwei, must guarantee to launch 6 new products every year, and 1 new product must be added every quarter, and unpopular varieties must be eliminated in time. Gumming, which has not been popular for many years but has suddenly risen after 20 years, is relying on the constant refresh of new products, and then attracts a lot of young consumers who are tired of drinking milk tea. Su Ren-shan doesn't believe it anymore. Combining the little bit soft text offensive and the advantages of the rise of ancient tea, the brand of Ziwei cannot be made bigger and stronger. No, it is to attract those investors to join. As for the name Ziwei, it is one of Su Renshan's many choices. Before, he liked the brand Yumming more. After all, he brought a word from the beautiful wife's name, but when he asked the beautiful wife for her opinion, he was rejected. However, looking at the satisfied appearance of the beautiful wife at that time, Su Renshan felt that the previous decision was very good. There is nothing more important than the favorability of a beautiful wife. Boss, you have such a detailed plan, do you still need me as a blender? Looking at the plan detailing the name and taste in the document, Liang Wen said a little speechlessly. With this plan, as long as she mixes drinks with the same taste according to the above requirements, she can easily earn an annual salary of 180,000. It's too easy, she doesn't need to worry about it, a normal person can do it, the work is not difficult at all. I just asked someone to make this plan, and the specific implementation depends on you, a professional. Hearing the other party's emotion, Su Renshan smiled and explained the role of the other party. In addition, in the future, you will have to preside over the training of the franchisee's staff. When the company's development department is established, you will also be appointed as a deputy manager. There is an additional salary markup. No problem. The job is not challenging and the future promotion and salary increase, how could Liang Wen dislike it, and fell in love with the current company from the very beginning. Well, let's leave it at that for now. Let's add Wei Wei and get in touch when we have time. Don't you need to clock in at work? The company hasn't been renovated yet, so you don't need it now. You arrange your own working hours. By the way, come to the company tomorrow morning to sign a labor contract, lest you worry about my empty words. Thank you, boss. Having settled the most important part, Su Renshan received a call from his elder sister on the way home. Xiao Shan, how was the interview today? Handing the peeled apple to her daughter, Su Jiaoqian asked with a smile. With my younger brother's good looks and half a month of training, it must be easy to pass an interview. When her younger brother officially enters the establishment, then Su Jiaoqian can introduce him to some girls with better family backgrounds, which can be regarded as starting a family and starting a career, so she can rest assured as an old sister. Good. Recalling the result that he was destined to be eliminated, Su Renshan naturally didn't dare to tell his elder sister directly. When the time comes to greet him, there will be absolutely no other way except the shadowless hand. Are you coming back this afternoon? Sister, I have a classmate here who started a business and wants me to join. I want to practice here in Hangzhou before the interview results come out. If the interview fails, there will be a way out. Faced with this expected question, Su Renshan explained to his elder sister according to the words he had thought up before, with reasons and evidence, half truth and half false. It is better to wait for a while to talk to the other party about getting married with the beautiful wife, so as not to scare the other party and come to Hangzhou with a 40-meter machete to chop him up. Compared to intentionally messing up the interview, Su Renshan, who knows the character of the elder sister well, knows that obtaining the certificate without telling the other party is definitely the most serious incident, not one of them. Let the elder sister know that he signed the marriage agreement. It is estimated that not only the 40-meter sword, but also a kitchen knife, to have a series of double cuts. That's fine, you can decide for yourself. After listening to her younger brother's plan for her future, Su Jiaoqian thought for a moment and agreed. She naturally wanted her younger brother to return to Lizhou to develop, and the two siblings who had lived together for many years could be taken care of in the same city. But Su Jiaoqian can't force her younger brother, a top student from Jiang University, to live in a small county like her hometown. A big city like Hangzhou is the place where the other party can flex its muscles. A child cannot be grown up by a mother, a younger brother cannot be grown up by a sister, a younger brother will grow up after all. Mom, I need to call my uncle. Lele, who was eating an apple, heard her uncle's voice, and reached out to the phone from her mother. Lei wants to talk to you. Seeing her daughter being close to her uncle, Su Jiaoqian couldn't help shaking her head. Uncle, when are you coming back? Taking the mobile phone, Lei asked expectantly. Uncle will go back in 2 days, and bring you and Xian something delicious. Hearing the cute childish voice of his niece, Su Renshan's mood instantly became much happier, and he thought about going back to his hometown in 2 days. Okay, come back soon, uncle. It doesn't matter if you don't need to bring him Xuan's things. He can't eat, just bring me more. Row. After finishing the call with his elder sister, Su Renshan, who was rushing home, received a call from Wei, couldn't help but frowned, and then turned his driving direction. Thanks to the leader of the Old Iron official family, don't make trouble for the Old Iron alarm clock, and give a reward even if you are old. End of this chapter. Chapter 58. The Comer is not kind. In a coffee shop with a foreign name, Su Renshan told the waiter the number of the box, and followed him into a small box of more than 10 square meters. Looking at the European-style decoration here, the price must not be low. After all, the black silk female lawyer is considered a wealthy lady. When she walked into the box, the black silk female lawyer who had been shopping with her beautiful wife before and had lunch with the three of them was already sitting there drinking coffee. This posture, the visitor is not kind. Sit. Seeing the brat in the light blue shirt approaching, Shi Qingxue was still dazed for a moment. If the other party has no bad intentions, it might be a good match for the cousin. It's a pity that this false marriage has been a deformed relationship since the moment the matrilineal agreement was signed, and it is impossible for the other party to have dark thoughts. As the cousin's personal lawyer, she has the responsibility and must minimize the danger. What's up? Glancing at the tight black silk, Su Renshan calmly sat down opposite, waiting for the other party to start. Called him over in private, is it just to buy him coffee? Or, was he simply attracted to his handsomeness and wanted to win love from his beautiful wife? Heh, just kidding, just kidding. You and my sister are just an ordinary contractual husband and wife relationship. I hope you don't think too much about turning this relationship into a long-term real husband and wife relationship. Once my sister completes the conditions of the SS Foundation, your existence will be dispensable. As soon as Shi Qingxue opened her mouth, Shi Qingxue directly expressed her intention of coming, creating pressure on the opponent in terms of momentum. If it's just like this, then I'll be leaving first. Your coffee, please. After hearing this kind of expected and very unnutritious words, Su Renshan got up a little funny and was about to leave. Regardless of whether this black-haired female lawyer really cares about her beautiful wife, or has unhealthy thoughts in her bones, Su Renshan has no need to talk to her. His beautiful wife is very assertive, and her thoughts are beyond the control of the so-called cousin of the black-haired female lawyer. It is completely meaningless for the two of them to discuss this topic here. No matter how much the other party speaks harshly, it will not change the established facts. Could it be that a lawyer who graduated from Harvard University with a major in political law has such a little IQ? Wait, as long as you promise not to approach my sister emotionally, I will give you an extra 200,000 a month. Seeing that the other party was unmoved, Shi Qingxue, who admired the other party's psychological quality, directly offered the price. Of course she would not say that she would advise her cousin to terminate the matrilineal agreement after the results of her cousin's foundation conditions at the end of the year. That would only make the other party have evil thoughts and try to get more wealth in a short period of time. Since the other party became the cousin's son-in-law because of money, then she used money to buy the other party, so that the other party stopped thinking of gaining both money and wealth. Do you think I got the certificate with your sister only because of money? Looking at the small bag the other party put on the table, Su Renshan, who was a little bit moved, remembered that the other party usually had the habit of putting the bag next to him when he sat down. Could it be that the other party learned the method of secretly recording in TV dramas, and then complained to the beautiful wife? The thoughts of this black silk female lawyer are really deep, as black as the black silk on the opponent's leg. Isn't it? Or do you want to gain both people and wealth? If 200,000 is not enough, I will add 500,000 a month. Raising her eyebrows, Shi Qingxue asked the other party without showing any weakness, and continued to increase her voice. If the other party really dares to answer no, it proves that the other party is a hypocritical hypocrite deep in his heart, and he can also persuade the cousin to keep an emotional distance from the other party. For her, things that can be solved with money are not things. If I didn't say it was for money at the beginning, it must be a lie. After sitting down again, Su Renshan, who ignored the price in the other party's mouth, took a sip of freshly ground coffee, and the slightly bitter taste spread from the tip of his tongue to his heart, and then began to talk about his psychological journey. But I fell in love with your sister at first sight. It's also true. Don't be too busy denying it. If it's just for money, with my qualifications and education, I can directly marry concubine Li Yan, and inheriting the Li family's Qianhua group in the future will not be a problem at all. Although the market value of Qianhua group is tens of billions, the real property owned by the Li family is only a few billions. It can't even compare with the wealth my sister currently owns. What's more, if my sister really inherits the SS Foundation completely, the Li family's wealth is not worth even a fraction. After listening to the other party's words, Shi Qingxue did not refute, but explained the gap between the Li family and her cousin, and continued to point out the other party's purpose of getting close to her cousin for wealth without a doubt. Then I would like to ask Lawyer Shida, for a normal person, is there a clear difference between billions and tens of billions? Seeing that the other party continued to chat at his own pace, Su Renshan asked a question, and continued without waiting for the other party's answer. Maybe you will say that wealth brings status, but the SS Foundation mainly deploys overseas assets, and it will not bring the improvement of domestic real status is not as influential as the local Qianhua group. And I don't go abroad, so the so-called international status is useless. Also, the most important point, lawyers of normal university, don't forget that I just graduated from Jiangxi University less than a year ago. If I want to have the life I have now, I can have it after working hard for 2 years at most. I was only 24 years old at that time. Listening to the other party's logical arguments, Shi Qingxue, who usually made the other party speechless in court, suddenly found herself at a loss for words. She really didn't expect that this brat, who rarely participated in group activities and didn't have a wide social circle during college, could be so sharp-tongued, completely disrupting her expected rhythm. However, Shi Qingxue came from a major after all, so she quickly adjusted her thoughts and pointed to the core of the problem. Then why are you willing to sign a marriage agreement? Everything remains the same, no matter how much the other party argues, it can't change the fact that they agreed to join the family for money. As I said before, the money that Yushuan gave at that time was one aspect, and my love at first sight for her was another major factor. I never really fell in love when I was in college. Yushuan is the most important factor in my life so far, a girl whose heart beats faster when meeting her for the first time. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, Su Renshan emphasized again. If he argued that it wasn't for money at the beginning, it would definitely seem too hypocritical. He treated him so sincerely, even if the beautiful wife listened to the recording, she wouldn't have any bad thoughts. It's just the two of us now, you don't have to pretend like this. Shaking her head, Shi Qingxue clearly expressed her distrust. Does it matter whether you believe it or not? Seeing the feigned posture of the black silk female lawyer, Su Renshan countered without showing any weakness. He married into the family of the beautiful wife's teacher. It is true that the other party's surname is also Shi, but strictly speaking, the other party's father is still the potential opponent of the beautiful wife. The other party invited him here privately today. It was nothing more than a warning plus threats and lures. Nothing could be changed. You. Enraged by the other party's disdainful gesture, Shi Qingxue was so angry that her heart heaved, but she was speechless. At this point, she has no way to interfere. If she speaks ill of this brat in front of her cousin for no reason, it will only make her cousin feel that she is making trouble for no reason. It can only be said that this brat's appearance is too deceptive. Who would have thought that such a handsome and sunny guy would marry into a wealthy family and become his son-in-law? Okay, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. Yuxuan is still at home waiting for me to have dinner together. By the way, I invite you to have coffee today. Placing down the coffee in his hand, Su Renshan smiled and stood up neatly. Heh, what kind of barrister at the partner level of a law firm, that's all. You really don't think about it, I will increase the price by 1 million a month. When the other party was about to leave the box, Shi Qingshue's faint voice sounded again, and the price directly doubled from before. End of this chapter. Chapter 59 Waiting for a Rabbit. Hearing the double price offered by the black silk female lawyer, Su Renshan couldn't help but stop, and said with a sneer without turning around, "Does lawyer Shida think that money can buy everything? If so, then what do you want your lawyers to do?" After speaking, Su Renshan quickly walked out of the box. If he didn't know that he dared to accept the 1 million, he might have left a very bad image in the heart of the beautiful wife. In the end, the bamboo basket was empty, and Su Renshan almost couldn't help but want to agree. 1 month's fullness, and every month's fullness, he still can tell the difference. Interesting. Taking out a pen-like recorder from the LV bag on the table, Shi Qingshu played with it for a while, then threw it back into the bag. Today's meeting is really a bit boring. After this conversation, she knew that it was time to adjust her strategy against that brat in the future, and she had underestimated the other party's character before. But that's more interesting, isn't it? Sir, Ms. Shi is our VIP customer and does not need to pay for coffee. When Su Renshan came to the front desk and was about to pay for 2 cups of coffee, he stopped his hand that was about to take out his wallet when he heard what the handsome female cashier said. These rich people really know how to play. Okay, thanks. Since everyone is free for members, Su Renshan will naturally not forcefully send money to the other party. He casually took a foreign brand mint candy from the front desk, and Su Renshan, who concealed his embarrassment, left neatly. When Shi Qingshu came out, she casually asked about the behavior of that handsome boy, and couldn't help but burst out laughing. How about going to the West Lake to see the fountain tonight? Eating a simple dinner of 6 dishes and 1 soup at home, Shi Yuxuan took the initiative to propose. Okay, I may have to go back to my hometown in Lizhou the day after tomorrow. It's rare for a beautiful wife to have such a good mood. Su Renshan naturally wouldn't refuse, and casually mentioned his plan to go back to his hometown next Monday. Then shall I prepare some gifts for your sister? Hearing that her handsome husband is going back to her hometown, Shi Yuxuan, who knows about his family's situation, is inexplicably a little nervous. Until now, she has never met the parent of a handsome husband. According to the custom that elder sisters are like mothers, that elder sister is the only close elder in the handsome husband's family, so she is naturally her elder. No, I'm going to talk to my sister about your business after a while. On this point, Su Renshan and his beautiful wife told the truth, there was nothing to hide. Oh, then I won't buy it for now. For some reason, Shi Yuxuan was inexplicably disappointed when she heard that her handsome husband didn't tell her family about it. Although their marriage had no purpose at the beginning, Shi Yuxuan is quite satisfied with her handsome husband's performance until now. First get married and have a stable relationship, and then fall in love. In fact, it is quite in line with her wariness and resistance to outsiders over the years, which is quite good. When my cousin proposed this fake marriage method, she still resisted a little. Let's go. Half an hour later, Su Renshan drove a Bentley and took his beautiful wife in a blue and white dress to the West Lake. Because it is the weekend, there are dense crowds on the side of the free West Lake, especially the shore near the fountain, almost reaching the point of shoulder to shoulder. As his wife is so stunning, Su Renshan naturally wouldn't let outsiders take advantage of him, so he arranged a good spot to watch the fountain early. While walking on the road, Su Renshan, in order to prevent others from touching his beautiful wife, put one arm around her waist very naturally. The upper part is blue and the lower part is white. There is a palm-width cyan waist in the middle, which makes the beautiful wife's figure stand out. Su Renshan touched the smooth waist and couldn't help rubbing it with his fingers. Like thousands of ants scratching. During the massage last night, I left so early, it was a bit hasty. A man's kidney function still needs to be maintained in time, and too much storage is not a good thing. Where are we going? Feeling the cute little movements of her handsome husband, Shi Yuxuan, who enjoyed the feeling of being protected, asked curiously when she saw something was wrong in the direction she was going. There are too many people in front of the fountain, let's take a boat to see it. Su Renshan, who had been prepared for a long time, replied with a smile, and continued to move forward with his other empty hand separating the crowd. Boss, it has been arranged. Bringing his beautiful wife to the boarding point of the cruise ship, Su Renshan met with the second elder, nodded and affirmed the other party's work, and handed over 500 yuan. I have nothing else to do here, you can go back first. Knowing that today is Saturday, there must be many people. Su Renshan, who has 2 errand employees, must play their role and book a cruise ship in advance. I have to say that his decision was very wise, only the small cruise ship was docked at the entire ferry, waiting for his employer. Originally, the price of this kind of cruise was 80 yuan for half an hour. Su Renshan asked Chen Zhengfei to book in advance, which was more than 200 yuan, and the rest was to run errands for the other party. His boss is more generous in his work, and it will be easier to ask employees to run errands next time. Boss, no need, you already gave it to me last time. Did not go to pick up the money from the boss. Chen Zhengfei shook his head honestly. The 600 yuan returned to him by the bathhouse before has not been spent yet. He understood why the boss left early last time. With such a beautiful girlfriend, who can stay outside? Take it. Put 500 into the opponent's hand. Su Renshan pulled the beautiful wife and walked to the small cruise ship that was fairly spacious. Shi Yuxuan, who was standing aside, looked at the handsome husband's generosity to his subordinates, with a bit of appreciation in his eyes. Not long after he came out of society, the handsome husband has such a means of buying people's hearts, and his future achievements will definitely not be bad. The boss is the atmosphere. Looking at the 500 yuan in his hand, Chen Zhengfei remembered that he had sent some money to his family, and now he was quite well off. In this life, it is impossible for him to find a stunning beauty like the boss's girlfriend, so he might as well find the number 3 girl who looks like his first love last time. Although the price there is much more expensive than that on the street, it is better in safety, the environment is good, and you can have supper and breakfast, so it was decided. Take a good night's rest, and continue to complete the tasks assigned by the boss tomorrow. Su Renshan, who was sitting on the boat, asked the boat boss to drive to the lake near the fountain. Looking at the sea of people on the shore, and then looking at the beautiful wife next to him in the night, a sense of pride welled up in his heart. Their time card was quite accurate. Not long after the cruise ship stopped, the musical fountain started, and all the cruise ships in the lake gathered. I have been in Hangzhou for so long, and this is the first time I have enjoyed the musical fountain so closely. The breeze came slowly, and Shi Yuxuan, who was a little bit cold, found that she was wearing a thin coat. She couldn't help leaning on the shoulder of her handsome husband, and said with emotion. When she came out, she still wondered why the handsome husband with excellent physical fitness wore a thin coat over the long-sleeved shirt. It turned out that the other party had already considered this situation. It is really a happy thing to be arranged so heartwarmingly. For the first time in my life. At this moment, Su Renshan naturally would not let go of the opportunity of tenderness, and took advantage of the opportunity to embrace the slender waist of the beautiful wife, and responded softly. Moreover, what he said is also the time. What happened with other girls in the previous life cannot be counted in this life. Feeling the warm embrace and pleasant smell of her handsome husband, Shi Yuxuan seemed to relax, and the whole world was full of friendly atmosphere. He, I finally got caught. In the early morning of Sunday, Li Yanfei, who was hiding in the corner of villa number 36, stroked the dew from her hair and smiled triumphantly. She preset the alarm clock early yesterday morning, but she woke up at 6:30, and when she went out at 6:50, she ran around the neighborhood twice in both directions, but Li Yanfei didn't meet Su Mutu, whom she liked. Bai Xia got up so early on her first weekend, it's hateful. This Sunday, she specially set an alarm clock for 5:30, and went out before 6 o'clock, and quietly hid next to the number 36 villa, waiting for the rabbit. The hard work paid off, and the rabbit was finally out of the cage. End of this chapter.